Okay, so our next step is we're going to do the left to right triangle or rectangles, squares, and they're actually different. They're done differently than the right to left. So we've done that left side triangle, which is here. So there's your left side triangle, and here's your base triangle. So we're going to take and pick up stitches here and then work these stitches that are already on the needle, which is here. So what I usually do is I usually pick up from the back, and we know that we've done 10 rows, but sometimes for whatever reason it's a little hard to get to pick up actually the 10 stitches. So that's the joy in the double pointed needle, that you can come back in on the other end if you're running short. So I'm going to pick up every other stitch that they kind of stand out. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I always seem to run short. So let's see, I can pick it up right here. That'll be my 10th. And there we go. So just to confirm, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Okay. So then I'm going to work those off. Sorry, I have to get organized here. I'm going to work those off to my right needle. And they look to be purled stitches, so I'm just going to purl them off. I like the double pointed needle. If you can pick them up with your regular needle and purl them off, then you can absolutely do it that way. I just need a little extra help when I get to that stage. Okay, so we're done with the double pointed needle. Oh, maybe not. Nope, I'm done. Okay. I'm always counting, just I don't want to go back and have to rip anything out. Okay, so now we're going to do a slip 1, knit 9, kind of like we did the other group. And again, you don't want to go too far into, you don't want to go into that other triangle at all. So if you need to use stitch markers, then that's the best way to approach that. So just a shorthand, a personal shorthand, so you know you don't want to encroach on this space. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, I'm done. Now I'm going to purl 9. So again, I'm going to purl backwards. And then purl 2 together, and then I'm going to slip 1 and knit the rest, and now I should have a natural break at this end so that I don't go into that other triangle, and sure enough, so there's a break. So I've got 10 still, and I'm good to go. So now I'm going to purl 9, and that's another break on this end. See the gap, and I'm going to purl 2 together. And that's it. That's how you do these left to right triangles. Oh, I need to slip that one. And again, they look like rectangles until you get that row above added on. And then the next step, I will show you how to change your color easily. And you're going to do that when you pick up those stitches and purl them back off. When you actually do the purl, you're going to use your new yarn. And so you really don't have to count when you know that there's this break. And you trust to do it every time. And we'll just keep going in this pattern until we get to the end of the block. And so once again, there's your break. And then slip one and knit the rest. And if you see yarn that you like, that you think might work well with this, you might want to check the manufacturer's website to see if they have any Entrelac patterns for free. I know the sample scarf that I showed originally is from a Lions brand yard called Amazing, and I knew that they had an Entrelac pattern for it, so I just went online and downloaded the pattern for free and used their yarn, and I was really happy with the way it turned out. And as I mentioned before, there are books out now that have lace patterns within the block or a cable pattern within this block that we're doing right now. So there's that added dimension. And really the sky's the limit. You could do a throw, you could do a lacy scarf. Once you get these different, there's really only 4 basic shapes that you're going to repeat throughout, and that's each end triangle and then the directional rectangles. So what looks really complicated, then if you break it down to that, is actually pretty easy. And we're getting to the end. So you can kind of see too how if you wanted to lay your work out with straight needles that have a cap on them, it's going to be a little rough to get the full look unless you're at the middle of the row. But with that circular needle, it's just easier to pull it out, straighten it out at the end of a row, and you can see where you've been and what it looks like. Okay, we're down to one more row to go. And no doubt that learning how to knit in reverse or purl in reverse really does save a lot of time and energy turning your work around. It's a little awkward at first, but definitely worth it. And I find that I now purl that way for most all patterns. Okay, so there we are. That's your first left to right rectangle, because that's what it looks like at the moment. But when that next row gets added on, it will look less of a rectangle and more like a square. So the next video I'll show you how to change your yarn and to make the next block a different color.